Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, sitting in front of an iconic farming background to really emphasize that I do other things than being gay. The title of this video is Gays That Do Things Other Than Being Gay. And I want to be really clear when I start this that this is not a dig or some kind of snarky commentary on gay culture. And I'm really not trying to be like, I'm not like those other gays. I'm not trying to be this quirky hipster who is trying to emphasize that my entire personality is not just gay centric. But I do want to have a conversation about the gay men who make being gay really a very small part of their personality. I think it's absolutely fine if you are gay and you are proud of it and you love yourself and you're obsessed with gay culture. If you watch Heartstoppers and Young Royals and Red, White, and Royal Blue, and there is nothing wrong with loving gay culture, loving to see yourself represented on the screen or in music. There is nothing wrong with loving gay celebrities. There is nothing wrong with having a passion for those things and gay rights and going to pride parades and all of that. That being said, it is absolutely totally okay to also be the exact opposite. It is okay to be gay and for it to be a very small part of your personality. I feel like I am well qualified to talk about this because I have made a partial living out of talking about gay stuff online, but I also have two other jobs that have nothing to do with being gay, nothing to do with my sexuality, and the vast majority of my friends and family are not like gay centric. Like I have very few gay friends. I have never been to a pride parade. I don't particularly like RuPaul's Drag Race and some of the intricacies of gay culture in terms of those things. I can understand them. I can appreciate their history. I can appreciate their place in gay rights and our movement towards more equality. I can appreciate all of that. But at the same time, it's a very small part of my personality, and it's a very small part of what I do in a day. This might seem contrary to what you see because when I post stuff online, I post about being gay or funny, quirky gay stories or gay culture or my opinion on things adjacent to being gay. And I just wanted to basically talk about how it is completely acceptable to be someone who doesn't really identify with the gay community, who doesn't really see themselves as a part of the movement or a part of the cause. I think a lot of us just feel like we're a dude, we're a person, we're a guy, and we just happen to like guys. That's it. There's this narrative that does exist, and you can debate it all you want, but the narrative goes that if you're going to be a good little gay boy, you have to subscribe to very specific beliefs politically, relationship-wise. You have to watch certain films and stuff that I've mentioned already, and you have to basically toe the line. And I've never subscribed to this kind of idea, and I've never really felt as though it is the correct path, because there's always going to be a multitude of paths that one can take in order to be who they want to be. And I also have to say that my experience with many of these gay guys is very positive, with these guys who don't really identify with some of the more extreme parts of being gay or some of the more militant or activist voices. A lot of the people just want to live their lives. They're good people. They want to make the paycheck and pay off the bills and maybe go on a vacation once a year. There is nothing wrong with having this perspective. And I think it's one of the reasons why it took me so long to really identify as being gay, because I didn't see it reflected in culture. I didn't see it reflected in what it meant to be gay. I genuinely, at 18 years old, thought being gay meant going to pride parades, enjoying Drag Race, and like literally getting into drag. Like I thought I had such a narrow perception of what it meant to be gay that it actually screwed up my own development and my own ability to see who I was. Um, and I remember watching a video of a creator talking about their experience and feeling as though they weren't represented in gay culture, and how that confused him as well, and how he wasn't able to really see himself as gay because he thought you had to fit this stereotype. Um, and so if you're someone who's in the closet who doesn't really identify with gay culture, maybe you're a gym rat, maybe you're a farmer, maybe you're a mechanic, maybe you're a plumber, um, maybe you're in something that is considered like a non-traditional gay job, like something that is pretty out of the realm of um, the stereotype, I guess. I would just want to say that it is absolutely okay, and you don't have to change your personality when you come out. I thought this too. I thought coming out would be this like transformative process, and for some of you it will be. It'll be this night and day change where you feel as though you can be accepted and people will accept you, and you can stop hiding your voice or the way you want to dress or the way that you listen to music. But for some of you, it's really not going to change anything. And I can remember very vividly when I came out to my parents, telling them that I am still me. Like, this doesn't change me in any way, shape, or form. And actually, the reason that I came out to them was to tell them that if I brought someone home for like Thanksgiving or for Christmas, that they shouldn't be surprised if it was a guy. And that's the main reason why I came out, was because I thought that there was like a tangible reason. I didn't feel as though I had to express myself to them, because thankfully my parents loved me and I knew that they loved me unconditionally. And I knew that no matter what, it wasn't going to change. Like I could identify as a helicopter and they would still love me. So the reason I came out was for like a practical reason of like, I don't want you guys to be surprised if I bring a dude home for Thanksgiving. And that was really great. That was a great experience. They were super accepting. That was awesome. But I've also had it on the other side where I'll have people say like, I don't act gay enough, or I don't respect gay culture enough, or gay history. And in all honesty, I understand gay history. I understand the fight for rights. I understand what happened at Stonewall. And many of these activists really overplay the significance of a few events or a few violent protesters or a few peaceful protesters or whatever. And I think true equality comes when we don't have to worry about it. I'm not saying you shouldn't respect your elders and respect the people that have fought and literally died for your rights, but I'm saying that a lot of straight people have no understanding of the sacrifices of World War I and II, and we don't hold that over their heads like a hammer, demanding that they respect what veterans have done. We don't demand that when it comes to the suffragette movement or any of these things. True equality is allowing people to identify with what they want to identify with, and not coming for them if they choose to live their lives unapologetically. That is true equality. That is like life as a straight person. You get to just live unapologetically, and you don't have to question why the dude has to propose to the girl. You don't question how much the ring should cost. You don't question the ceremony in the wedding, or taking the man's last name. Like, none of that stuff really has to be questioned. It sure can be, and you sure can question it. But at the same time, a lot of what acceptance comes from is just, it is this thing. It is because it is. And it would be nice to get to a point where that is just unanimous across the board, just because he doesn't have like a high-pitched voice, or he's not a fashionista, he can still be gay. And I do feel like we're getting to that point. I see like a lot of advancements. I see a lot of straight guys dressing like gay people, and that's no insult to the straight guys. I'm just saying you guys have definitely copied our look, and If you get hit on by at a bar, it's not our fault. It's just that you're dressing fruitier than what we're used to when we grew up. So apologies for that, but also maybe get a thicker skin if you're offended by a dude hitting on you. I think that's a huge compliment, but that's just me. So anyway, the gays who don't act gay, quote unquote, obviously, there's nothing wrong. You know, the gays are okay. It's fine. Maybe don't judge people for the way they act, the way they talk, the way they look, the way they dress, the way they vote, the way they believe. In a gay context, you can judge all of those things, but you don't have to judge it in a gay straight context. You can just judge it on what it is. You know, if you don't like the way someone's voting, you don't have to yell at them and say like, you need to be a good little gay. You can just say, hey, you're voting to disenfranchise our rights. You're voting to, you know, do this or that. And I strongly disagree with it. Not because you're gay, just because I disagree with it. That's fine. Like, go for that. Like, nobody can come for you for expressing an opinion like that. But I can absolutely come for someone who says that because I am this demographic, I must do this. I must wear this. That is so wrong. That is prejudice, just like we're trying to avoid and fight. So let people be who they want to be. Don't judge them based on that. Judge them on the character, how they treat you, how they respect people's rights in general, and that will be just fine. And honestly, I would like to get to a point where being gay is not an issue one way or the other. People don't have to come out. It's not a big deal. It doesn't change. The politicians that are gay don't have gay in front of their name. It's just a thing that nobody cares about. That would be really great. I'd love to be on an equal footing in every way, shape, and form. And I think a lot of you agree with that. So here you go. That's the video. Let me know what you think. I know I touched on some heavy stuff and some light stuff, but I'm open to being convinced either way. But as long as we're respectful, and I think we won't have a problem. So let me know what you think. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.